Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. We are back in the beautiful All Things Comedy studio. We've been demonetized by YouTube, of course. A great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can submit articles like this, like Crafty Geek did. Bring up this slide. So this is from the Electric Frontier Foundation. They've done really good work. Facebook's secret war on switching costs. And the link for this article will be in the show notes, so check this out. So let's go to the next slide. Boink.
There we go. No, pull it down. There we go. There we go.
So when the FTC...
What are you doing, computer? Turns out I'm also not this tech savvy.
That's Aaron, the producer at ATC. First day on the job. When the FTC filed its amended antitrust complaint against Facebook in mid-August, we read it with interest. This is the EFF. FTC Chair Lina Khan rose to fame with a seminal analysis of the monopolistic tactics of Amazon, another big tech giant, when she was just a law student. And we anticipated that the amended complaint would make a compelling case that Facebook had violated the trust law. Much of the coverage of the complaint focused on the new material defining personal social networking as a relevant market. Let's go to the next slide.
All right.
That's the same one?
God damn it. This is so stupid. There's like a weird delay between them, and then I take it down, and it's, oh, there it is.
Okay, there we go.
Boom.
This is great. Focused on new material defining personal social networking as a relevant market and making the case that Facebook dominated that market thanks to conduct banned under the antitrust laws. Because the court threw out the FTC's previous complaint for failing to lay out Facebook's monopoly status in sufficient detail, the new material is important to keep the case going. But as consequential as that market-defining work is, we want to highlight another aspect of the complaint, one that deals directly with the question of what kinds of systems promote competition and what kinds of systems reduce it. When antitrust enforcers and scholars theorize about big tech, they inevitably hone in on the network effects. A system is said to benefit from network effects when its value increases as more people use it. People join Facebook to hang out with people who've already joined Facebook. Once new people join Facebook, they in turn become a reason for other people to join Facebook. And network effects are real, and you can't understand the history of network computers without an application for them. Famously, Bob Metcalfe, I'll just go right to camera with this one. So this guy, Bob Metcalfe, was the inventor of Ethernet networking, coined Metcalfe's law. The value of telecommunications network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users in the system. That is, every time you add a new user to a new network, you double the number of ways that users can connect with one another. But while network effects are a good predictor of whether a service will get big, they can't explain why it stays big. Let's bring up the next slide. And Facebook is full of people whose company you enjoy, but if you don't like its ads, it's surveillance. And I've done a lot of videos on this about Facebook surveils us. We know Facebook gives data to the intelligence community. We've talked about how Google, Eric Schmidt has been working with the CIA since 2011 on Google. So that's one of the things they kind of try to hide behind, and that's what this article is going into, and what this antitrust suit is going into, is they try to hide behind, like, oh, you agreed to these user terms, but if you don't like its ads, its surveillance, its deceptive practices, or its moderation policies, why not leave Facebook and find a better platform or run your own while continuing to send and receive messages from the community's friends and customers who haven't left Facebook yet? Short answer, because you can't. And this, let's come to me. This is part of what this antitrust, and I'm glad that they're doing that the FTC is trying to do this, because first of all, if you've ever tried to delete your Facebook account, it is really hard. It's easier to leave the mob than it is to leave Facebook. And what they're contending here is, and this is legit. And what this goes into in this article, and I'm going to get into it in a second, is the switching cost, the cost it takes to go to a new thing. So they basically are forcing you to use their service. That's why we have antitrust laws. That's why when I was a kid, there was the phone company, and everyone had to use the phone company. And then the antitrust laws came in, and there was these battles in the 80s and 90s for your long distance service. There was antitrust. There was only a handful of networks of TV stations. They broke that. I mean, like this has happened before. And Facebook, absolutely, these big tech companies absolutely are violating antitrust laws without a shadow of a doubt. So let's go to the next slide. Big Printer periodically downgrades your printer with security updates that prevent it from using third-party cartridges. Apple uses legal and technical countermeasures to stop you from running apps unless you buy them through its store. And Facebook uses all-out warfare and deceptive smear campaigns to stop anyone from connecting their tools to its platform. Software locks, API restrictions, legal threats, forced downgrades, and more. These are why big tech stays big. And that is what these are all in violation of antitrust. That everything they just laid out there is a violation of antitrust. And that's why, we're all forced to use it. And it's like, like a car, like whatever, you buy a Ford, and you have the option of buying Ford products or aftermarket products. You can buy you can go to, whatever. You can go to AutoZone and buy things for your Ford that other companies make. What the tech companies are doing, and what this lawsuit is bringing up, is the fact they're forcing you to use their stuff. If Ford forced you to only buy Ford stuff for your Ford car, that they can't do that in a supposed free market economy. Now, we know we don't have one because this favors the billionaires, but I'm glad that this is going after big tech billionaires, because they also hide behind this, we make this cool technology that connects everybody, and everybody wears skateboard shoes and hoodies on our cool campus. And it's like, you're still a big corporation. You're still big billionaires. You still are a bunch of assholes that could end homelessness overnight, but instead you're flying your cock rockets around the planet for 4 minutes with taxpayer dollars. So, I can't imagine why anyone would want to file an antitrust lawsuit against you. So let's go to the next slide.
As we all know, the only people not subject to antitrust laws is Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I know. And Major League Baseball can do whatever it wants because it's our national pastime, which we both love baseball. Yeah. But you bring up a great point, Aaron, the producer here at All Things Comedy, that baseball has gotten away with murder because they can say we're the national pastime. And somehow it's like, I love baseball, but come on, man. There's still a big corporation that is not held accountable to antitrust lawsuits.
Yeah. I think it'd be much worse if the NFL wasn't, but...
Right.
Yeah. They definitely gotten away with some shit.
Yeah. Well, all the big sports leagues get away with whatever they want to do. All right, let's go to the next slide. Switching costs are how economists refer to all the things you have to give up to switch between products or services. Leaving Facebook might cost you access to people who share your rare disease, or the final messages sent by a dying friend, or your business customers, or your creative audience, or your extended family. By blocking interoperability, Facebook ensures that participating in those relationships and holding on to those memories means subjecting yourself to its policies. See, this is such a great, man, they really went into this well of digging into the minutia of this to see how, because it is true, and this is why I think, and we've had Ron Placone on the show. He's done a lot of work with the EFF, and he's talked a lot about net neutrality. Ron knows a lot about this, and we'll bring him back on the show to talk about this. But it's one of the things when you read what was just said, that it's another reason to say these social media platforms, especially Facebook, that have been so integrated into our lives, need to become public utilities. And they can't because as we just, imagine like there's this Facebook group for your rare disease. And so this is the only like online community where I can talk to these people. So if I leave Facebook, I leave access to that. Or while my business has a big Facebook page and if we leave Facebook, then I don't have access to all these customers that buy through, I can sell products, coupons, whatever through my Facebook page. So then Facebook takes advantage of that and says, all right, yeah, but we're going to steal your data and we're going to surveil you and we're going to hold you for all these, Facebook has done all these ridiculous things. We've seen it before, like a pro-Palestinian site is a Facebook page taken down immediately, just taken down immediately. And then any pro-Israeli site is not. Well, that's not fair. So that's why they should be public utilities, in my opinion. And that's what this lawsuit is contending as well, and really going through the antitrust suit. So let's bring up the next slide. Network effects are how you get users. Switching costs are how you hold them hostage. The FTC Facebook complaint makes it clear that antitrust regulators have wised up to this phenomenon and not a moment too soon, which is excellent. So I'm really glad this was brought. Thank you, Crafty Geek, for bringing this to our attention. It's a good thing to follow because obviously, look, I have a Facebook fan page, and Facebook has screwed with me so many times, and they do all this crap. Like I worked for years to get 10,000 Facebook followers to my fan page, and then when I promote something out there, like, oh, I've got a live show, they wouldn't send it to all of them. I'd have to pay to boost it's just like, what's the point of amassing all of these followers if they're not all going to get it? And they've been channel banning and doing all this stuff, which is, again, why I'm a big proponent of Panquake, the thing that Susie Dawson has been on the show numerous times. We've been talking about it since January. Go to panquake.com. You can apply to be in the beta version, and it answers all of these questions, or all these really not questions, but all these problems that big tech has put in there in terms of how they can just kind of do whatever they want. And then they do that thing going back and forth of like, oh, we're a company. We can do what we want. Oh, but everybody gets to use it. But then it's not. So another reason to go to panquake.com and sign up for that. And also, thank you, Crafty Geek, for sending this to us so we can see how there's a little victory here. We don't get a lot of victories over here. We don't get a lot of them, but we get them every once in a while, and this is a good thing. And again, go to EFF.org. That's the Electronic Frontier Fund website. They're a non-for-profit. They're another great organization to be a part of. If you're not familiar with a lot of these issues, their website is a great resource. So check that out. And thanks for supporting our show, everybody. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood to keep supporting what we're doing so we can bring you stuff like this. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Hey, everybody. Ron Placone and I had to cancel all of our October tour dates because of COVID, the Delta variant, and all that. But we still have shows in California. Ron and I are doing San Francisco September 11th, Sacramento September 12th, Burbank September 15th, and Lee Camp and I are doing Live Government Secrets September 18th in Los Angeles. All those tour dates are at grahamelwood.com. All of the venues are requiring proof of vaccination. Dynasty Typewriter on the 18th is also saying you can do negative COVID tests, but check with the venues for what their policies are. I have no control over those policies. Go to grahamelwood.com. Sorry we can't come. This sucks. We'll be back hopefully next year. But if you're in California or want to make the trip, come out to these shows. These are probably the only shows we're going to do this year. Thank you.